project are you working on right now that you're most excited to show your fans? Ooh, this is a really hard question for me to answer because I'm working on a secret project with Angela Kinsey, my co-star from The Office. I can say no more, but I'm very, very excited to share it with you, and we're hoping that it'll be launching this fall. Would you rather be able to see a year into your own future or a year into the future of anyone but yourself? I don't want to be burdened with any of that information. I don't want to know anything that is going to happen to me or anyone else. That seems like a horrible mental burden to me. What was your favorite scene to film during The Office? Oh, this is such a hard question because there's so many wonderful scenes, and some are for different reasons. Some are because I laughed harder than I've ever laughed in my life, like during the dinner party episode where Michael is trying to show us his tiny television that's mounted on the wall. I don't think we ever laughed harder than that scene. There are many outtakes. I think they put them in the deleted scenes, but still to this day, I had a job where I was put in a trailer and they had mounted a teeny tiny flat screen TV on the wall of the trailer, and it even had like a little bitty arm that came out. This arm. And I recorded it and I sent it to the cast of The Office in an email, and because I was like, guys, do you remember this? It's happening to me right now. But then also I loved in the early season the scene when Jim takes Pam up onto the roof and makes her grilled cheese sandwiches. But the reason that I loved that was because of just the rogue nature of filming that scene. It was a warm summer night. They had made Rain and Brian, who played Dwight and Kevin, go down to this field and just set off fireworks, and they weren't even communicating with them. They were so far away, and those guys were just shooting off fireworks in this parking lot, and everybody else was up on the roof, and it was just like warm, and it was evening, and it was just really special. Like, I just remember, like, it felt really special. And then there's the episode where we all went ice skating. Steve Carell is actually, he plays hockey, he loves ice skating. And that was just really fun because like Steve was like just so tickled to get to ice skate at work, you know? So there's just so many memories from that time. And then just any scene I ever did with Angela Kinsey, because she's my best friend. We met on the show, and we would just crack each other up. And people didn't love it when we did scenes because we would take so long. But yeah, so those would be my answers. Okay, what do you miss most about Kirksville? I'm gonna go back to the high beach. You can't get them anywhere else. You really can't. Look, I'm just doing all of them. Of all the characters you are portrayed, which one is the most like you in real life? Oh, this is a good question. It's not Pam. I think that shocks a lot of people. Everyone's like, what? You know, there were a lot of ways that I was like Pam. So when I got the job as Pam, I was literally working as a receptionist and secretary. I'd been doing that for 8 years, wishing that I could be an artist, which is Pam's working as a receptionist, wishing she could be an artist. You know, but unlike Pam, it would not take me 3 years to tell a man I loved him. Yeah. Like, that is not me. As my teacher Ron, who's here tonight, like I just was a lot more determined and outspoken and more of a go-getter than the character of Pam. So I had to really restrain all of those instincts in order to play the character. But that doesn't mean that, you know, while I have a type of inner confidence, I do also like second guess myself all the time. So those aspects of Pam were like very, very relatable to me. But I actually think that the character, gosh, that was maybe most like me, Lee, was the character you wrote for me in The Giant Mechanical Man, which is a film that I did that my husband Lee wrote, and we met on that film, and he directed it, and that's where we fell in love. So the character of Janice Janice, yeah, was maybe the one that's maybe most like me. What was the one thing you did in college you would recommend to all students? Gosh, I just don't have a good answer for that. I am so sorry. How do you think Truman prepared you for your career? Okay, so this will be a great one to end on. I know there's a few more questions, but Truman did a great job of preparing me for my career because Truman made me work hard for what I wanted. And in my particular line of work, no one hands you a career. There's actually no interview you can go on where you become a working actor. It's like you have to blaze that path for yourself. You have to like figure it out for yourself and make it for yourself. And there was so much in my department and in my training where that was true. And I think it was because it was a liberal arts education, so it wasn't just focused on acting. If I wanted to be in a play, I had to also build the set, and I had to also break down the set, and I had to learn about the lighting, and I had to run the cues. So I got to understand the whole world, like everything that went into creating a production. I didn't go off to LA as just a trained actor. I understood a bigger picture, and I really needed that because I also understood that the actor isn't the only most important thing and all be all of any production, that it is a collaboration. And so I think that's the way that Truman best prepared me, because I think I just went out there with a little bit of a different perspective than maybe some people who were hyper-focused on just acting training.